Yo, what's good, everybody, and welcome to another All American Review, Season 3, Episode 10, entitled Put Up or Shut Up. I want to thank everybody for tuning in, those who have subscribed, those who like, those who are commenting. I greatly appreciate it. And y'all know how I do. If you like what you're hearing, make sure you go ahead and hit that subscribe button and hit the bell so that you're always in the know as to when I drop another video. So, let's go ahead and get right into it. So the episode opens up with Jordan, Asher, and JJ, who is overly excited that he won Homecoming King. I absolutely love and adore JJ. He is one of my favorite characters on the show. Um, so Spencer arrives at the restaurant and he looks around and he doesn't see who we all want him to see, which is Olivia. So then he asks Jordan, where are the ladies? And so Jordan kind of smiled and he was like, so you meaning Olivia? And so we find out that Olivia has bypassed the homecoming dance in order to attend a Narcotics Anonymous meeting, which I was really happy to see her there. And I was also happy to see Nurse Joy because that's someone that, not that she knows her, but, they have had interaction before. So the scene goes back to the restaurant and Simone and Vanessa shows up. But before they can walk in, they are approached by Dane. And, Dane is Simone's no good baby daddy. Um, he shows up. And it was interesting seeing him because anytime he normally appears, he's coming off like an asshole, like a jackass. And, he asked her how was she doing? And it appeared as if he was about to apologize to her for all the BS he put her through. And to my surprise, he actually sounded as if he was sincere, as if there was some sincerity in his tone. But before anything could pop off, before he could really say anything deep to Simone, Jordan and Spencer appear outside. And we already know it's bad blood there between them. And so it is what it was. They told them that it's time to go. So obviously they didn't go there to start trouble. They just, said their little slick comments and left. So Vanessa, let's talk about Vanessa. I don't know how I feel about Vanessa. I know I don't like Vanessa, but I don't think I, don't like her either. I don't know where I fall in with that. But I one thing I will say, I do not like how Vanessa is playing with my boy JJ. It was like one time she was coming off as if she did not like Asher. Now all of a sudden she likes Asher, but I'm jumping the gun. So, JJ was just so happy about his homecoming win, like I stated earlier. And so he was just like, I hope you don't feel any way about me winning and you not, but because I'm a king, that automatically makes you. And so she treats JJ as if he just annoys her. And I'm like, well, if you feel that way, just leave the boy the hell alone and just tell him. So after she walks away, she says she's about to leave. JJ, of course, could sense it. And so he asked Asher to talk to Vanessa for him. And I'm like, no, JJ, that's the wrong person. That is the absolute worst person in the world to get to talk to Vanessa on your behalf. But anyway, Asher goes to Vanessa and, he attempts to tell her that JJ is a really good guy. He may come off a certain way, but he has the biggest heart in the world. And we know that JJ is just a sweetheart. And so she was like, he acts immature and she's waiting on someone else. So we all know who the hell she was talking about. She was talking about Asher. And I'm like, she stated that they didn't kiss the first time because Asher was with Olivia. Well, now that he's not with Olivia, why not just give in to this feeling of kissing each other that we both want to do? So let's just do it. And even though, Asher leaned in, I was shocked that he did not kiss her, because she was like, it's not going to hurt anyone. And he was like, yeah, it will hurt someone. And, he was referring to JJ. So like I said, I was surprised that happened because I really did think that, Asher was going to be a trash ass and kiss her anyway. But he did not. And I was really happy to see that. So going back to Olivia. So Olivia attends her first meeting and she was quiet and she did not participate. And, Nurse Joy told her that it didn't matter where she attended her meetings. If she was not going to participate, there was not going to be any change in her. And what prompted that was Olivia told Nurse Joy that her and her parents decided that it would be best if she attended another, facility and not go to a rehab in Malibu. But honestly, I was proud of Olivia, as she was explaining to her mom that she wanted to be sure about the sponsor that she chose because she did not want to make the same decision, the same bad decision twice. And we all know what happened with the other sponsor, and she just did not want to make that decision again. And so I found out, this was new to me. When you go to rehab, they call them vampires, the people who just trying to become your sponsor or so eager to be your sponsor. I didn't know people like that existed, but they do. And it was just very it was very interesting seeing that, and just also interesting to see what they actually call these people, which are vampires. So that was interesting in itself. So back in the locker room at Beverly. So JJ is being his usual jolly, happy go lucky self, in hopes that Asher was able to talk to Vanessa for him and, put in a good word. And so Asher informs him that Vanessa is interested in someone else. It didn't take a rocket science to find out that JJ was basically losing his girl in his mind to Asher. He was not happy about that. He pushed Asher up against the locker, and Jordan tried to intervene. But, I just felt so bad for him. But JJ had me rolling. He was like, I offered you my crown. I knighted you. I was like, JJ he is so funny. And even though I know he's like the comedic relief in the show, he's just so like pure at it. Like he's just, you could tell. And I know a lot of JJs, a lot of JJs. I went to a whole lot of schools with a lot of white people. But I'm like, he's just so innocent and he's just so pure hearted. And I'm like, baby, you could do way better than Vanessa. Vanessa is not even, just leave her alone. So in his angered state, he violently, forcefully slammed his locker, which caused Jordan to experience a side effect from his concussion. So, we all know Jordan did not tell his parents the truth or anyone else the truth about his concussion. So we go to Coop. So Coop still isn't feeling Mo, which I can't blame her. Now the actress who plays Mo, her name is Erica, and I've seen her in a lot of other things. And I was like, because she shows no emotion. She is like very monotone when it comes to her acting. And I thought it was just me, because I'm like, I've seen her in a few things, and no, I think this is the way sis act. Because I'm like, I probably have seen her smile twice since she's been guest starring on this show. So I'm like, she cool and everything. Her vibe to me is just always different in everything I've seen her in. It's almost like she plays the same role in everything, because her mood is just blah. You know what I'm saying? But anyway, Mo was looking for patience because she needed to give her some documentation for her to sign. Which we later find out that documentation was, what's the girl? Layla's dad, released her from the record label, which we'll get to that as to why he was so, eager to do so. So like I said, Coop is still not feeling, she's still not feeling her. And so it was really, a lot of people had a lot of stuff to say about Coop when it came to like how she was acting around Mo, why she just won't accept that this woman is different. And I didn't know, because with Mo, I was like, I don't know about sis. You know what I'm saying? It was the way she came back, and even though she was doing all of these good things, these great things for the community, something about her just never sat well with me. So I didn't blame Coop, but I just felt like Coop didn't have to be as nasty and disrespectful to her. At least let shit play out first before you just jump to all these, type of conclusions about this person. So going to Billy. So Billy talks to Spencer about the amazing homecoming game that his dad had years ago, where he scored 7 touchdowns. Billy also, Billy also informed Spencer that there would be a number of recruiters coming to the game to specifically look at Spencer. And I'm like, before I even got to the next scene, I'm like, why are you telling this boy this? That's pressure you're putting on him to play at this level that he might not be able to play, or he might be nervous. He might be all of these different things. Why you told him that? Got on my darn nerves. Then he go, then Billy takes his happy bald-headed ass to Beverly, where he goes to see Jordan. And basically he does the same thing. He tells Jordan that there's going to be the head coach from Arizona State was going to be there to check him out. And I'm like, what? Billy, go somewhere. Billy, go somewhere. So when coach came, and she was just like, yeah, that's why I didn't tell him, because I didn't want him to like freak out or anything. I'm like, Billy, take your happy behind back to Crenshaw, where you are the head coach. And I know Jordan is your son, but leave coach people alone. So we go to the second meeting. Olivia opens up at the second meeting, and she states that the only reason that she took a drink was because she felt like all of her friends were leaving her. She felt like she had been there for everybody, and now at this point in her life, no one was there for her. Everyone was going about their own life and kind of leaving her in the dust. And so, Nurse Joy called her out on it. You could tell Nurse Joy was not feeling the response that Olivia gave, or the explanation that Olivia gave. And so she wanted Olivia to take responsibility for what she did, because she basically told her it didn't matter what was going on in your life. It absolutely had nothing to do with your friends. You are going to find an excuse to drink, period. And you need to understand that, and you need to take responsibility for that, and basically how you're not going to fall into that trap again. And so I know, and we know as people, sometimes that truth pill can be a very hard pill to swallow, but it's like we have to, understand it, and we have to own up to it. And I know a lot of people that was like, they didn't like the way that Nurse Joy came at Olivia, but I absolutely loved it. I absolutely love the way that she challenged Olivia's viewpoint about what she did, because when we're placed in a position, this is just life, when we're placed in a position that challenges our perspectives, our ideologies, and our truths, it is a way, and it is an opportunity for us to grow. It is an opportunity for us to change and transform ourselves. And so it's easy to blame other people for what we do, because Olivia had no problem blaming her friends. This is the reason why I did this. And we all know we can't control what others do, but we definitely can't control how we respond to situations. So I absolutely adored that. And I just feel like, once we get to a place that we can deal with our truths, and deal with our actions, and deal with the reasons truly why we did what we did, we will always come out victorious, and we will always come out better than we were when we went in. Little life lesson though, but nonetheless, let's get to halftime. So halftime at Crenshaw, Billy dedicated that time to Corey Jones, which is, Corey James, which is Spencer's father. And I thought it was really sweet. It was really nice. They retired his jersey, and also his jersey was embedded on the field. And I thought that was just really, really adorable, really cute, and a moment for Spencer, but not only Spencer, for Billy as well, because I think sometimes, we forget as the audience that Billy and Corey were really good friends, and they experienced, a lot of times what friends experience, which is, a separation or a break. And sometimes you don't get the opportunity to mend those things before something tragic happens. So I was glad that Billy had a way to honor, his friend. I thought it was really good. Now, Spencer, I had mixed feelings about this, because I did want Spencer to break his dad's record, but I also understood the fact that he wanted to share in that with his father. It was like one thing that he could share with him forever. Hopefully no one else come and beat it. But I did understand, you know what I'm saying? But it made me feel like that was another way of Spencer, not giving himself the best. So I looked at it both ways, but I could appreciate what Billy did. So back at Beverly, they go on tit for tat with I forget the name of the rival school, because they were both undefeated. And so, Jordan and Dane, Simone is the common denominator between them. And so he knocked Jordan the hell out, laid him out to the fact that baby boy was not moving. And I was like, dang, you asshole, you did not have to do him like that. And so It wasn't funny. I was just like, and the sad part is when them boys be out there playing, football, and I've seen career ending hits when I was in high school, and I'm just like, you really didn't I don't think they realize like how dangerous or how much of a danger zone they be in. But I'm just like, dang, you did not have to do Jordan like that, but he did. So we see Billy and Spencer rushing, in the hospital. And so Spencer instantly embraces Olivia and Billy hugs Laura. So we get the family. They're sitting in the waiting room when the doctor appears, and Laura begins to, bombard the doctor with questions. And I gotta admit, Laura was getting on my damn nerves. I'm like, Lord, baby, you doing too much. I do understand that your son is laid up here and you want to find out everything in the world that you can. Asking him about his damn electrolytes. But what you want them to do? Give him some damn Gatorade? I was like, I'm like, shut up. Laura, please. Oh God, she was getting on my nerves. And I was like, somebody had to do something. So Simone said, sis, I got it. Don't even worry about it. So she was like, she asked the doctor, could she speak with him privately? And and Laura was like, we're trying to get and she was like, I understand, but he's here trying to give us information and you're asking all these questions. And so she was like, well, I'm his mother and you're his friend and I'm allowing you to be here, but you can go home and I will call you when we have something. She said, I ain't going nowhere. And yes, you are his mother, and I respect that, but I'm his wife. And in this situation, wife trumps mom. I said, well, damn. Well, damn, Simone. I don't care what nobody say about Simone. Simone is she has emerged to be one of my favorite characters on this show. Simone said, I ain't going nowhere, baby, and you can't make me. Yes, I am married to Jordan. We are married. We are husband and wife. And Laura and Billy looked like, what in all the hell? I said, yep, y'all eat it up. They married now. Which was a dumb decision on their part, I must say. But it is what it is. You can't do nothing. And so, so Laura don't really know what to do. So she goes to Olivia, who was with Spencer, and she asks, how long have you, did you know about this? And, she told her that she knew. And then Spencer, informed her that they were witnesses. And Laura just couldn't believe that Olivia was lying. I'm like, well, hell, she been lying about drinking. You don't think she would lie about or conceal the truth to you about something going on with Jordan? And so Simone was walking back up and she was just like, ask Spencer and Olivia if they were okay. And so, Laura was like, well, don't worry about them. She was like, I am. Like, if you have an issue with my marriage to Jordan, you take that up with me. Like, leave them out of it. And she was like, only thing I'm worried about is about my son. And I would deal with you and this so-called marriage later. First, see, Simone handled that well because it wouldn't have been well with me. Because I would have been like, first of all, who the hell are you talking to? Secondly, you ain't gonna deal with nobody mother-in-law, so I suggest you calm down because we family now. Boy, I got a smart ass mouth and it just wouldn't have went down like that. But I understood Laura's frustration, but I'm like, you are definitely putting your frustration or projecting your frustration on the wrong individual. And I'm like, if you were so concerned about your son laying in that damn hospital bed, why are you going to your daughter about them being married? It's done. You can't do anything. So asking Olivia and Spencer about what happened, what does that have anything to do with what's going on now? It had absolutely nothing. A lot of us, me included at times, okay, I have given, I have given Layla a hard time. Some of the stuff she deserved. I really feel bad for Layla when it comes to her damn father. Number one, I don't even like this new character. I don't like this new man. I know we can't get the old one back, and I have to deal with that on my time. I don't like this new dude. You know what I'm saying? He don't do it for me. Because I'm thinking, I can't see young, and this is just me, and there's nothing against how this man look. However, I cannot see young women throwing themselves to him like they did the character before. And I was just, disappointed. I'm just like, I don't like him. But other than that, I felt bad. I felt so bad for Layla because I'm just like, her mom died. You knew she was close to her mom. Her mom had her own, mental issues. And then you have this father who lives, breathes, and exists to do music, but you have a whole damn child who you have left several times for long periods of time to raise herself. Layla is going through life basically as a motherless and a fatherless child. She's just out here. So, some of her decision making, I don't even question because I'm like, baby girl ain't been raised. She done raised her damn self. But, her going back and forth because she had to figure out why was her dad so eager to let Patience out of this contract. Well, we know that Patience found out that, he was screwing Lil Jewel, who happens to be married. And just to see him try to wiggle his ass out of that, I'm looking at him like, I wish he just fell in that damn pool, but he didn't and disappointed me. But anyway, I think that was the only time. No, we saw Layla talking to Coop earlier, but I just felt so bad for the girl. I'm like, she ain't got no parents. That girl just in this big ass house just by herself. I felt bad for Layla, but that was just for a brief moment. That's all that was. I do like Layla though. It's not that I don't like Layla. Layla just hits a nerve with me sometimes, but that is what it is. So at the back at the hospital when Jordan awakens, it's Simone. She's there, and she's rubbing the side of his face, and she's like, "Yeah, I'm gonna bring your family in here." And just a heads up, they know. And he was like, "Know what, babe? Everything." He was like, "Oh God, oh God, oh God." You saw that teenage shit come out. Like, oh God, yeah, you was big and bad enough to ask this woman to marry you and to get married. And now that your parents know you in the state of, oh my God, you panicking. You know what I'm saying? So the family comes in, the doctor lets them know that, he's okay and all of that good stuff like that. But when they leave, the doctor informed him that he may not be able to play football this season, the rest of the season. It's his senior year. And he was like, there goes my whole career. And I think the sad part is, and that is so true, because you get these guys playing football and they believe that football is the only thing that they have to offer the world. They bank everything on the fact that they're going to go to college and go pro. And then when that doesn't happen, they don't feel like they're worthy. They don't feel like they have anything to fall back on. So when Jordan said that, I'm like, it's sad that his entire existence or his entire future was solely based on the fact that he's going to make it to be a pro football player, which is sad in itself. And I do hope that All-American really dig in that. Like, if Jordan is not able to play football, what is he going to do? So I really would love to see how they bring that all together. So Coop. So we find Coop. She was going to whatever little restaurant the kids hang out at Crenshaw. And she see everybody, with these signs, and she trying to figure out what's going on. So we find out that there was a young lady who was shot and killed by the police, and there has been no justice for her murder. And so they're holding a rally. So here comes Mo. We find out that Mo is representing the family, and Mo just in everything. She representing the family, and Coop begins to have a change of heart about the way she feels. So Coop apologizes. I wouldn't have apologized, but she apologized, and once Coop walked away, this guy came up to Mo and he was like, "Oh, what was that about?" And she was like, she finally let her guard down. And I was like, "What? Say what? Say huh?" See, I said, "Oh shoot, here we go." So Spencer and his mom, I love Grace. Spencer and his mom had a really nice little scene by the fountain outside the hospital. And, she was just, remembering when her son was laid up in the hospital, not knowing what his future, was going to be. And she informed him. I believe it was 9 recruits who were there, or 9 scouts, excuse me. And out of the 9, I think 8 approached her, if I remember the numbers correctly, which I don't, but I think that's how it was. And it's just interesting to see how, with Spencer, everything was questionable. That we didn't know what was going to happen because of his injury. But to see him make this turnaround and have all these schools, looking at him. So I really am, really interested in seeing what's going to happen with Spencer and all of these kids going to college and what's going to happen. I know that the character Simone is going to have her own spinoff. So I'm definitely interested in that. But just seeing how the dynamic of their group is going to either maintain or dismantle who's going to be going to the same school, because that's going to happen. So it's like I'm so interested in seeing how this plays out. Some people didn't like this episode. I thought it was a great episode. I know a lot of people want to see a lot of Spencer and Olivia, but we gonna get there. But they ain't gonna be like the main focus point in every video. They're just not. But overall, I thought it was a great episode. Like I said, this is one of my favorite shows. It is so well written, and all the actors on this show, they are magnificent. They are wonderful, and I enjoy watching them bring these characters to life. So I want to thank y'all again for tuning in to All American in this review, and I will holler at y'all later. One.